There's no greater feeling than feeling part of the greater. These are the words I heard recently from a David Aaron, a noted educator in Yerushalayim, and they struck me very strongly. What can bring a person a better feeling than being part of something greater than oneself? The thought came to me again this week as we were starting to learn Hilchot Purim, my second period, 10th grade boys class. And just before Hilchot Purim, we opened up and they noticed that before Hilchot Purim, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch talks about something entirely different. The Arba Parshiot, the four special Parshiot that we read in these weeks leading up to Purim, leading up to Pesach, through Adar and Nisan. And he starts out by saying, B'Shabbat Shalifnei Rosh Chodesh Adar Hasamuch LeNisan. He refers to the Shabbat which comes before Rosh Chodesh Adar Hasamuch LeNisan. Words are a little confusing at first. I hadn't planned on teaching them, and I got a little confused. What was it referring to? But as we worked at it together, we realized he was describing the time that we have to read Parshat Shkalim, this Shabbat, as the Shabbat which is precedes Rosh Chodesh Adar Hasamuch LeNisan. Such as this year, we have two Adars. So which Adar should it be that Parshat Shkalim precedes? Well, it's the Adar which comes before Nisan, which is what we would call Adar Bet, or Adar Sheni. But the phraseology is interesting. It raises thoughts. What exactly is the nature of this Adar? Why are we reading Parshat Shkalim now? And what's up to why is it specifically the Adar Hasamuch LeNisan? If you think about the idea of the Shkalim and the mitzvah Machatzit HaShekel, you have Bnei Yisrael in the Midbar ready to build the Mishkan, and as the time is coming, Moshe Rabbeinu tells everyone take half a shekel, not a complete shekel, no matter who you are, everyone half a shekel, no more and no less. And we're going to take that money, pull it together, and all that money is going to come together to build the Mishkan. And so it was then, and so Chazal instituted in the Gemara that every year in this time, before we get to Rosh Chodesh Adar, Hasamuch Nisan, right before we're getting to Nisan, before the time that Nisan's getting ready for Pesach, and the time the Mishkan was put together, so that's the time that we read about Parshat Shkalim to remind us of this special mitzvah. The special mitzvah where every Jew, no matter who they were, no matter how much money they had, gave the exact same amount, a half a shekel, not a whole shekel, a half a shekel. And many comment the symbolism, the idea being that each shekel on its own was not even worth an entire shekel. It wasn't even worth an entire unit on its own. But it was required someone else in order to make their shekel complete. And those shekalim needed to come together in order to have the money required to be able to build a Mishkan and then to make the Mishkan function. And so it is now, as we prepare for the month of Adar, the second Adar with Purim in it, and eventually for Nisan and Pesach coming afterwards, we say in fact that this Pesach, this is where we prepare for Shkalim. Because as we're ready for Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha, where's that Simcha going to come from? Where does that true joy come from? So again, there's no greater feeling than feeling part of the greater. If we feel like we're part of Klal Yisrael, we're part of a bigger unit, we're part of the entire tzibur, then we can feel incredible joy. Nobody's perfect on their own. Nobody's complete. Nobody can claim that they have the answer to everything and they can accomplish things on their own without anyone else. But as a complete unit all together, recognizing we all have our own half shekel to contribute, and my half shekel is necessary, but so is everyone else's, then I can feel part of something much greater than myself. And there's no greater feeling than that, being supported by those around me and being an essential part in supporting those around me as well. And this is such an important idea as we read Parshat Shkalim and enter the month of Adar, that indeed to find real joy, we need to not look just to do things that are fun and enjoyable, to look around ourselves, recognize our place within the entire tzibur. Chazal tells tzibur stands for tzadikim, beinonim, rishayim. It's not about just those who are righteous, not about those who are beinonim, who are in the middle ground, somewhere between, and it's not just about the rishayim, and it's not any of those groups without any other. It's all of them together. It's only entire tzibur, tzadikim, beinonim, rishayim, are able to join together, recognize the value of one another, and only then could we come in and have a true mishanichnas arbin b'simcha. Only we have that idea that there's no greater feeling than feeling part of the greater. Shabbat Shalom.